Hi everyone, it's Coach Fred. So I think the mini quiz for a lot of you, not for all of you, but for a lot of you, showed me that even though you had the property sheet with all of the requirements, that you're still not using the rules that we need for geometry, which is marking your diagram with what you're given. So I'm going to go over some of these problems because you do have a quiz tomorrow, and a lot of you did not pick up your mini quizzes today. So here it said PQRS was a parallelogram, and they gave us a lot of different information, but it says use the properties of the parallelogram to find A and B. All right, well, I noticed that A and B were sides, so that's when I mark the property that opposite sides are congruent. So these are congruent and these are congruent. That allows me to see that A is 5 and then B is 3 because congruent means equal. All right, I see this 38-degree angle and I see this Y. Well, parallelograms, the definition of a parallelogram is that opposite sides are also parallel. That's the definition. That's like the most basic. So I need that. That helps me see that I have a Z, giving me that this has to be 38 degrees. So then I can use what I know about a triangle. Here's a triangle. So then Y plus 120 plus 38 has to equal 180. So Y worked out to be 100 or 22 degrees. You can see it's a small answer. Some of you put that the angle was 180 degrees. An 180-degree angle is a straight angle. It forms a horizon. This is an acute angle. So how could it be 180 degrees? All right, and then I see that the last thing I have to do is get X. Well, opposite angles in a parallelogram are congruent, and you have your property sheet. So I'm going to mark those congruent. So that means X would have to be 120. All right. You didn't really love the language on question number 2. It says, explain the property of parallelograms that relates to the diagonals in your own words. Draw a parallelogram and label the parts based on your property. All right, well, the property of a parallelogram that relates to the diagonals are the lines that go from corner to corner on the inside. The diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Bisect each other. Now, I asked you to draw a careful diagram. I actually even gave you my own made property sheet. That's all I was looking for. You to be able to tell me they bisect each other, which means that they cut each other at their midpoint. So they cut each other in half equally. But this is what the diagram should look like. So if I have a parallelogram where diagonals are drawn, I'm looking for that, okay? Let me move this over here, sorry. Oh, I can't. All right, so that's what I was looking for here. All right, this one big. The parallelogram is a square with the diagonals drawn. What's the measure of angle ABD? Well, first, I know that these are all 90 degrees. I know that the opposite sides are congruent. But I said that it's a square. You should label all your angles as 45 because if it's a square, it means that those diagonals bisect the vertex angles. I mean, do you have to draw them all in? No, but you have to know it. And it said angle ABD. At this point, I mean, you guys aren't really carefully looking at your angles. You start at A, you go to B, and then you go to D. So the angle is at the vertex is B. So this is my angle, so it would be 45 degrees. Then it says if the measure of angle B is ABD is 3x plus 3, find x. So then 3x plus 3 equals 45 degrees. And so we solve. See it now? All right. Quadrilateral is a rhombus. Measure of angle 1 is 3x plus 1. Measure of angle 3 is 7x minus 11. We've got to know a rhombus Couple things. It has 4 congruent sides. The diagonals are perpendicular. So all of these create, it's meeting at right angles. And the diagonals also bisect the vertex angles. So this is equal to this, is equal to this, is equal to this. And these guys are equal. Why are the ones like why are 3 and 4 equal? Because opposite angles in a parallelogram are congruent. I'm going to mark my diagram with that. All right, well, I can see then that 1 and 3 are not equal, but I can see that they actually are part of a triangle. So that means that they have to add to 180. So 3x plus 1 plus 7x minus 11 plus 90 equals 180. So that gives me 10x. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to add these guys, and that gives me negative 10. I'm going to subtract the 90 because it's just easier. So 10x minus 10 equals 90. 10x equals 100. And therefore, x equals 10. Again, mark your diagrams. Use what you need, okay? And then the last one, a diagram wasn't given to you. I can't believe that at this point, 4 people didn't draw a diagram. It's a rhombus. You have the definitions in front of you. You have the diagram in front of you. Take the time to draw it. Geometry is the study of figures, of the world, of shapes, of measurement. We need a figure. So it's like a diamond. I would have drawn my congruent sides. It said the diagonals have length 8 and 6. So I know that this is 8. And I know that this is 6. The whole thing. It says find the sides of the rhombus. Well, again, we did go ahead and put in our right angles. But the only way I could actually come up with anything is to use one of the right triangles of the rhombus. So that 8 and 6 get bisected because these are equal and these are equal. So if the whole length is 8, then this is 4 and this is 4. And if the whole length is 6, then this is 3 and this is 3. So then I use the Pythagorean theorem. So this is S. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals S squared. 9 plus 16 equals S squared. 25 equals S squared. And S equals 5 when you take the square root of both sides. Okay, so they're all 5 because it's a rhombus and all sides in a rhombus are congruent. So when I ask you to find the perimeter, I would do 5 times 4, which would be 20. This one surprised me. Why? Well, because right before the mini quiz, we went over this problem. So right before it, immediately right before it, there were 4 questions on your homework about it. So it's telling me, number 1, either you're looking at the answers and having it guide you and not asking in class, or not listening when I say, okay, guys, everybody pay attention. This is important stuff. So hopefully you can see how this mini quiz is supposed to help you study better, okay? So I love you all. We're going to get this, but we have some work to do, and you guys have to put in the effort and really learn from your mistakes so that you are ready for the next level. All right? Have a good night.